Welcome back, guys, to otro videito más. Today is gonna be a great day because today we are going to start a series that it's gonna be called prime lenses versus zoom lenses. Which one is better? In my opinion, the primes are better, but in my opinion also the zoom is more flexible and it's more convenient, because at this moment, in order to cover almost all the range of this lens, I need 3 prime lenses. And I know what you're saying, you're like, oh my God, man, but that's so many lenses, so many extra lenses. Is it really worth, having to change them over? Is it really worth having them in your bag, carrying the extra weight? Like, this has so much more versatility than these 3. Yes, you are correct. This has a lot more versatility and it is easier to manage. Absolutely. But the question is, which one looks better? That's all we're trying to figure out. Which one looks better? If you're watching this video, it's because you either don't own either of them and you're trying to figure out which one to buy, or you own a zoom and you're trying to figure out if it's worth getting a prime, or you own a prime and you're trying to figure out if getting a zoom would be better. A simple answer: primes look better, zooms are more versatile. I'm going to show you how they look in video and in photos. I will also be putting this lens on the camera and doing this kind of shot so you guys can see the difference between using a zoom lens or using a prime. Without further ado, let's start this series. And so, this being the first episode of the series, we are going to start with the 24 f1.4 versus the 24-70 f2.8. They're both Sigma lenses, so quality is gonna be basically the same. But the look, this is what we're looking for. The look, what looks better? We're gonna find out. Let's get started with these two. I'm gonna do a bunch of different stuff, and at the end I'm gonna put these two right on there so you can see what it looks like. You ready? I'm ready. Let's do it. All right, so here we are in Lightroom comparing pictures from the 24-70 and from the 24 f1.4. Like I said, they're both Sigma lenses, so when it comes to quality, they're gonna be pretty much the same. Now here, I'm focused on Pickle Rick in both images, but as you can see, the background is just gone, pretty much gone. You can really notice it here on the Santa hat. It's there's a lot more detail here than here, which is kind of not what I want. In my opinion, I think this background looks very, very messy. This one obviously looks a lot smoother. You can kind of tell what's back there, but not a lot of detail compared to the one from the 24-70. Now I'm gonna move through here through 4 different pictures, and we're gonna basically keep focusing further and further into the back of the image. So right now here I'm focused on the XE4. As you can see, Pickle Rick is starting to fade away into the foreground. Let's keep moving further back, and now we're gonna focus all the way to the back. And as you can see, Pickle Rick is basically gone, disappeared. And here you can kind of still tell what it is. We go forward, you can see that, the prime is doing its job with isolating the subject. The background basically doesn't exist. It's smooth transition. It doesn't seem very harsh or busy. I just think this is the best look in my opinion. I think the 24 f1.4 definitely takes the cake, but this is the goal of the video, so you can see the difference between the 2.8 and the 1.4. It's a pretty big difference when you look at it, especially when you're doing portrait shots or you're shooting objects or anything like that. It definitely shows. The 1.4 definitely shows. So there's gonna be a little bit of an exaggeration, but these two right here, they're both with the 24 f1.4, but I was trying to get to the closest minimum focus distance. And in here you see that the closer you get to your subject, just the more the background disappears. You can clearly tell with the Santa hat. These are both 1.4. I'm just closer to the subject here. Okay, so I just wanted to point out, this is a 24 to 70 2.8. This is a 24 1.4. Now you see how Pickle Rick is closer on the 24 to 70. So what I wanted to show is that you can kind of get the same background blur as the 24 1.4, but you would have to get really close to your subject in order to kind of match. These two look kind of similar. I mean, the f1.4 is still taking the cake here. It's blurrier than the f2.8, even though the f2.8 is closer to the subject. It's doable to try to get the same look, but when it comes to composition, obviously it'll change. So the 1.4 definitely makes a difference, and in my opinion, I think the 24 1.4 is better. It's not as versatile as a 24 to 70, but it's better. All right, so here we have the 24 to 70 at 24 millimeters. What do you think? What do you think? I think it looks pretty good. There's not a lot of background blur or anything. We are at 2.8. Yes, we are. But yeah, this is what it looks like. Me talking. Yeah. Let's switch over to the 24 1.4 and see what that looks like. You ready? All right, this is 24 millimeters f1.4. Obviously, I lowered the ISO a little bit, so it might look a little more or less bright. But it was definitely super bright at 1.4, so reduce that ISO to 100. So that's a perk that you probably didn't think about. ISO, lower ISO, less grainy images, less grainy video. I mean, you're gonna have less noise. It's gonna be all around better. Did I say that right? Better. But this is it. This is me, talking head. Obviously, the closer you get, the more separation you get. So if I get up here real close, it's pretty up there, you know, but I don't think you're gonna be doing talking heads like this. I think this is a little bit too much, don't you think? Yeah, a little bit too much.